So I will start the presentation. So I'm presenting my screen. So I just want to know if you are able to see the PPT.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. So I'll begin the session. So my topic is significance of yoga for human health. Why I should do yoga? Why I should be motivated to do yoga? What is the prayojana? So why to do yoga? So yoga, as you know, it's a part of Ayurveda, and the goal of Ayurveda is swasthasya swasthya rakshanam aturasya vikara prashamanam, which means that we have to protect the health of the healthy, and we have to remove the disease of the diseased. So when we do yoga, the body is very flexible, healthy, fit, and full of immunity. And if you have any ailments like arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, there also yoga helps. Now, the second point is unhealthy diet, sedentary lifestyle. Many people now, what happened, they are eating, overeating, they are eating at the wrong time, they are eating in the like 12 in the night, they are eating, and they are not maintaining the lifestyle, waking up in the night, sleeping in the daytime, not exercising, sitting for long hours. And many times, inner voice is telling them that this is what you're doing is wrong, but they are not listening to it. Like, for example, a diabetic person is there, he should not take sugar, he should not take chocolate in more quantity. And if he takes, it is harmful, still he is taking. That is pragya aprad. So we know inner voice sometimes telling, don't do, but still we do. The third point, why I should do yoga, is fast-paced life. Life is running. We are running. We are running for work. We are running. We are not relaxing. Fast food we are having, standing and eating, talking, without even aware of what we are eating. Now, lot of automation is there. Dishwasher, escalator. We are not climbing the stairs. We are not doing the like. Suppose I wash the dish. Wrist rotation is happening. Those things are not happening. Washing machine. We used to wash our clothes earlier. I'm not saying not to use, but our physical activity is coming down because of that. Very less exertion. Now, what is the fourth point is other health issues are there. For example, diabetes, hypertension, cancer, postural issue, back pain, knee pain, neck pain, cervical, addictions, cigarette smoking addiction. Okay, so these things are people are having, and yoga is very helpful in these cases. Now, but yoga is essentially done for spiritual benefit. You are all from West Bengal. You know the son of the soil, Swami Vivekananda. Did he do yoga for any back pain or anything? No, he did only to know himself, spiritual. But therapy is a byproduct. If you do yoga, therapy will automatically happen. Now, yoga is a complementary therapy. Complementary therapy, what we mean is like apart from general medicine, it will help him to recover. It's a complementary, alternate therapy. There is no side effects, but the thing is that if you do yourself, then it may cause harm. Apart from that, no side effect. Cost effective. Now, hardly compared to the medicines or scans, it is very less cost. Lot of researches have been done. If you just Google yoga diabetes, just now 100 papers will come. Lot of researches have been done, and there is modifications for everybody. I can do it in the chair also. I can do lying down in the bed also, and it is for all ages. Like children also can do, old people also can do, women also can do, everybody can do. So Dubai, as you know, it's a Islamic country. So it has made yoga as a sports. Now you just imagine they have made yoga as a sports. They have recognized yoga as a sports. Western countries adopting yoga. Now recently some article had come, some state in USA, I don't remember the name. They had banned yoga. remove the ban. Now foreigners are adopting Indian heritage. You see many foreigners, they go into Varanasi they're going to Rishikesh, the yoga capital of India, for training. 47 out of 177 countries which supported the Yoga Day resolution are Islamic. Just imagine. So definitely there should be something. Otherwise, why they will do? Key for permanent happiness. We are forgetting our goal of life. Is it our goal of life making money? Is it having a good house? Is it having a car, good luxurious car? Or is it happiness? If we have all those things and still we are not happy, then is it a question we should ask ourselves? Yes, definitely. Now, difference between animals and humans. There is a very nice verse in the Hitopadesh, Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maithunancha. So these four things are common between animals and humans. What are these? Food. Animals also want food, human also want food. Nidra. Animal also wants sleep, human also wants sleep. Bhaya. Animals also fear, human also fear. Most important fear, fear of death. Maithuna. Sex. Human also desire, animals also desire. But what separates the animals and humans is buddhi. So buddhi separates animals and humans. But if we forget this buddhi, then we will be equal as animals. Animals are governed by programming and instinct. Like suppose an animal is walking through one path and it falls down in a ditch. Next time what happens? It will still go through the same path and it will ditch. But a human, he will remember that, oh, yesterday I was walking from here, there was a ditch. Now I have to remember, I have to be aware. Okay. Same way, you are getting this human life after so much sadhana. You are very lucky. You could have born an ant, 84 lakh unis. As per our tradition, we say trees, different type of animals, different varieties of animals, fishes, so many things are there. But we have got human life. We are above them. A tree cannot move. It has consciousness, but it cannot move. Animal is walking on the four legs, but human is walking on the two legs. It has buddhi. It can we can change our future if we want. So answer to the question, who am I? Do we exactly know who am I? Maybe or may not. What is the purpose of my life? I have born, okay, I was born maybe 20 years before, I was born 50 years before. But why I am born? What should I do? What I'm supposed to do? What happens after this body? You see nowadays COVID situation, many people have died. Maybe one day it will happen to this body, maybe old age or some disease or some accident. It may happen. What happens after that to me? Am I die or what? Am I anything else happens to me? I don't know. Figure it out. So in Kenopanishad it says it is the eye of the eye, nose of the nose. So if I say this eye is there, this eye is seeing. If I remove this eye, suppose I remove and keep it. Many people, what happens? They have surgery and I keep it in front. It cannot see. That eye is, you have to put it in dustbin because that is waste. You transplant the eye, then still you can see something is there inside. Na? You have to figure it out. In the same way, you see, I am presenting through the laptop. There is a mobile phone. There is some washing machine. There is a fridge. These are all different equipments, but something is there inside them. What is that? Electricity. Same way, something is there inside me. Find out. So next slide. Some of the common misconceptions. So yoga is only for Hindus as it has Om, Surya Namaskar, mantra, Sanskrit names. So previously I had told that Dubai has announced yoga as a sports, and 47 out of 177 countries were Islamic who supported the Yoga Day resolution. Now, coming to the Om. So, Om is an eternal sound. Even before they called us Hindus, even before Sanatana Dharma, it is before that also. Om, you notice one thing, every sound, maybe sound of an engine, maybe sound of anything, sound of a bell, you just have a small utensils, you put some spoon there, you have done, this kind of sound comes. So this sound is a universal sound. Only when you chant, you will understand the meaning. So what is the special benefit of this sound is it is made of 3 syllables, a, u, ma. And it is not just in Hinduism, it is in Sikhism also, Ik Omkar. It is in Jainism also. It is in other religions also, Arhan, Arhan. Even in Islam also, Ameen, they say. Okay. So, A, U, Ma combine to become Om. Only when you chant, you will understand. It is not just, it is experiential. Then comes the Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar is nothing, just a set of postures, set of 10 postures, as one of the student very nicely she performed. So, does sun belong only to Hindus? No. Sun belongs to the whole humanity. He never says that I will give only for this people, I will not give for this people. No, he's giving for everybody. And if you don't want to do namaskara, see, namaskara when we do, we are touching the tip of the finger. Our finger are releasing the energy. There is something like Kirlian photography, and we are balancing our energy. Left side and right side of the energy, we are balancing. And one more thing, you cannot shake your hands now, so do namaste. It is more hygienic. You can save yourself. Then comes the mantra. There are some mantras which are associated with some deities, but there are many mantras which are associated with universal peace. I will give an example. Asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. What it means? From the untruth you go to the truth. From the dark you go to the light. From the death you go to the immortality. Now what is wrong in this? Isn't it? Sanskrit is just a very good language. Actually, you say ba, bha, bha. You are doing pranayama when you are saying Sanskrit. So it is good for you. It is exercise your lungs. Yoga is only asana. It is only for the body. It is not just asana. Asana is just one part. There is many things. As our physiotherapy sir, he told that, sorry, not physiotherapy, physical education sir told that it is Ashtanga Yoga. Like Dhyana is also there, Pranayama is also there. Yoga is not just asana. It is much deeper. Asana is one part of yoga. So purpose of yoga is therapy only. Again, therapy is there, but purpose of yoga is to know who you are and liberate yourself with the grace of God. To do yoga, one must be very flexible. It's not necessary. Many people are very flexible, like a rubber. You can see they will turn their whole body like this, but it is not necessary. Every people can do yoga. Middle age also you can do yoga. Some few in the beginning you may not be able to do that much, but slowly you will be able to do more. Yoga is only for the young. Again, yoga is for everybody, old people, children. Yoga is very dangerous. No, yoga is actually, if you do yourself, maybe you stretch more than you require, then you can injure yourself. So do it with some teacher. Yoga is only for the people who renounce the world. Again, it is wrong. You can be married, you can still here live in any house and you can do yoga. Yoga can be taught by anybody. Yoga should be taught by certified teacher who has trained, who has studied the principles. Then only, otherwise any person cannot teach yoga. So I can learn yoga from YouTube and do it myself. No. If you do it, you have a risk of injury. Now, what and how to practice? There is some key points which I have mentioned. So we are what we eat. We have to eat healthy, moderate food. Yuktahara viharasya. युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. Eat moderate food, slowly food. Don't eat fast, talking. Oh, I am in a hurry. 10 minutes I have to eat my food. And then I have a meeting. Why? It is going inside, no? It is sustaining you. Take some time, eat calmly, eat with awareness. The food, whatever you are eating, it becomes mind. So, if you are eating stale food, putting in a fridge 2 days after you're eating, you will get that kind of thoughts only. Sluggish thoughts, negative thoughts. Ahara shuddho sattva shuddhi. Sattva means mind. Be aware and mindful of your thoughts. They are also your food. Whatever you're thinking, seeing, they are also your ahara. Regulate the pranic food. So the breath we are taking inside from the nose, they are becoming prana. It is becoming prana. It is going in the lungs and it is spreading in the whole body. Without prana, no movement possible. Many people, you say, they will have a stroke. They cannot move because prana is not moving. Breath is connected to the prana inside, prana is connected to the mind is connected to the body. Chale vate, chale chittam. You see many people who are having a disturbed mind or any anxiety, depression, they will have a disturbed breathing. Without it, it will not be there. So remain in balance in opposite situation. We have some happy event. We are very happy. We go overjoy. We celebrate like nothing. Then what happens? Some sorrow is coming. We go down. We dig a hole and we put our head down. Why? Okay, be aware. Be in balance. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Don't be a prisoner of your mind. You control the mind. Don't let mind control you. Practice yoga with correct intention. Therapy is a byproduct. So do with the spiritual intention like Vivekananda. Live in the present. Future is uncertain. Past is over. How much money you give, can you bring back the past? No. Future is very uncertain, especially current scenario, COVID situation, very uncertain. Live in the present. Enjoy. Moderate sleep, take adequate rest. Many people, what they do, they will say, I'm working for 18 hours a day. It's only 6 hours sleep. After some time, you will not get that sleep also, 6 hours. You will get insomnia. So, very important, moderate sleep. Not over, not like 12, 13 hours, 8 hours. Lifestyle also very important. Waking up on time, sleeping on time. Exertion, too much, always keep working, not taking rest. No. Controlling the senses. So controlling the senses is very important. Indriya nigraha, always outwards senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, but never inwards. You inwards your senses. Adding the meditation to your schedule, morning or evening, every day. Half an hour, 10-15 minutes, just sit, do nothing. That is important. Forget everything. Okay, components of yoga. So what are the components of yoga? So there are kriyas, internal cleansing technique. There are 6 in numbers. Jalaniti. So I forgot to keep the pot. It is just a pot. We have to keep the pot. We put it in one nostril. And water flows from this and goes to the other nostril. It helps to cleanse the sinus. Same way from the other side. So saline and lukewarm water we put. So you can search it online, Jal Neti pot. That is very cleansing. And like this, we have 6 cleansing techniques for different body parts, abdomen, chest, like that. Chanting of Om. Chanting is very, very important. So we chant Om also. We chant we chant Oo. So how to chant is taking a deep breath and chanting. This is how we chant Om. So there is in our body, the prana is flowing through the nadis. The vibration in the nadis produce sound, and these vibration define whether we are healthy or we are not healthy. So just imagine that. Okay, we will go to the next one. So the next one is loosening practice of joints. Loosening practice like simple wrist rotation, neck rotation, then shoulder rotation. So these are joint loosening. We do it for warm up, and then we do some postures, asana, pranayama. Then breathing practice, simple breathing practice like inhale, open the arms, exhale, join. There are many such practice we do. Surya Namaskar, and as that one very good student, she uh, demonstrated set of 10 postures. Asana. Asana is not repetition. Asana means holding. So if I stretch my arms ulta above the head and hold it for maybe 20 seconds, that becomes a asana. So asana can be done sitting, asana can be done standing, asana can be done supine, lying on the back, asana can be done prone, asana can be done inverted, like headstand, shirshasana. Asana can be meditative, like you just meditate like a Vivekananda. Asana can be cultural. Cultural means stretching the back, backward bend, and do relaxative means shavasana is an asana. Pranayama. Pranayama is vital air practice. So whatever this is also food, we have to regulate this food also. That is also very important. So one of the practices, Brahmari, in that like a Makara chanting we do with the closing the ears, eyes, take a deep breath and chant like this. So this is a very good practice, Brahmari. It is calming the mind, inducing good sleep. Then there is Bandha. Bandha means blocking the flow of breath. So one of the Bandha is Jalandhara Bandha. Suppose I am taking the breath from both nose and I am stopping the breath. So when I touch my chin to the chest to help me to hold the breath, that is Jalandhara Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha is compressing the abdomen. Mula Bandha is squeezing the pelvic floor muscle upward. Jnana Mudra, then comes the Mudra, Jnana Mudra. Jnana Mudra, it helps in the concentration. Anjali Mudra, which Vivekananda had done, one palm on top on the abdomen. Nasika Mudra, there are many mudras. Then comes the meditation. Very important. Meditation is the final stage. So sitting you can do Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is something like you are lying down on the mat and somebody is instructing you guided meditation. Nadanusandha is like a chanting of a sound. So sound is also related to your mind. Just imagine you are sitting in the car, you listen to a flute, relaxing flute. You are relaxed. You listen to some fast music, you will be active. So sound is also impacts your mind. So some practice tips for the beginners is practice with regularity. It's not that one day you do, then after 1 month you do. It will not benefit you. Then practice with correct intention, spiritual motive. Do as per capacity. Don't compare others people like, oh, she's so flexible, I'm not that flexible. Don't worry, you whatever, how much you able to do it. Okay, do with sincerity. Breathing is important. Now in asana, like suppose if I'm holding, there I will be having normal breathing. I'll be steady. If I'm doing some loosening practice, then breathing will be like inhale up, exhale down. There, inhalation and exhalation will be there. Then observe the changes post practice and during also. Suppose I'm stretching my arm like this, I have to observe what is happening. It is not that I'm thinking, oh, what will be in the dinner, etc. That is not there. You have to bring the awareness inwards. After also, you have to observe the changes. So don't overdo the practice. Ati sarvatra varjayet. If you overdo, it will harm. So morning and evening is the best time. At least 3.5 hours of food gap before practice is required. So initially, if you're not able to do any posture, don't regret, no regrets. Whatever you are able to do, enjoy with smile and do, with happiness you do. Initially, your body may ache due to stiffness. Slowly, body will become flexible. Practice under a qualified instructor only, not yourself. Don't see YouTube and do. Some things may not be good for you, but that's why you have to take an opinion of a qualified instructor. Now next I am coming to the Pancha Kosha theory. It is very important. It's from Taittiriya Upanishad. It means that we have 5 layers of existence. So from the gross to the subtle, what I mean by gross? Gross is something I can see. This is a charger pin. So I can see it, I can touch it, okay, like this, even smell also. I can see it. It is this thing. Subtle means I cannot see. Like suppose air is there. It is there, but you cannot see it. It is very subtle. So first is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Annamaya means body. 5 elements are there in the body, na? Earth, fire is there in the belly. Water, 70% water is there. Wind is there. Prana going from the nose. Space is also there, is present. It's not that all the organs like packed together, not like that. Space is there. Even in the lungs, space is there for the air to enter. It is sustained by food. So if we don't take food, body will perish. That means Pranamaya Kosha. It is the energy of life force, helps in the movement of nutrients and prana in the body. It is sustained by breath we take. Breath we take and the water. So many teachers, they are not taking enough water. They are speaking a lot, spending a lot of prana, not taking water. Pranamaya level is very low. So water is also very important for teachers. Manomaya Kosha, it is the mind level existence. In this we have memory, thoughts, emotions, ego, I, my car, my bungalow, like that. Vijnanamaya Kosha, it is the knowledge level body. It is the intellect body which governs knowledge. It is sustained by knowledge. Anandamaya Kosha, it is the blissful body which is full of unending happiness. It is sustained by bliss. So beyond all this kosha is our existence. That only we can understand when we deeply go into some meditation without any expectation. If you do meditation, oh, I will able to see some Atma. No, don't do like that. Just sit in meditation and do nothing. Just to bring awareness. Slowly, if God's grace is there, then only you get it. Then it is, I coming to the psychosomatic issue, Adi and Vyadi. So what is Adi and Vyadi? So just I am going to the previous slide. In Manomaya Kosha, if I have a stress, that becomes Adi. And it is transferred to Annamaya, that is number 1 in the body level as Vyadi. So there are many issues, as you can see, hypertension. It causes heart issues, it causes stroke. Hypertension is because of stress and it causes ailments in the body level. So Vyadi, as you can see in the chart, it is 2 types, Adi, Vyadi, which is stress related. Anadija Vyadi, suppose you are going somewhere in a scooty, you fall down, you get some injury. That is Anadija Vyadi. Even COVID issue is also Anadi because it's an infection. For that you have to take some medicines and you get well. Isolate yourself, you get well. But these issues which are from the conflict of mind, that is only possible when you cleanse your mind. Maybe yogic practice, different yogic practice, asana, pranayama, and kriya and meditation. So Adi Vyadi is also 2 types, Sara, Samanya. Sara means we are coming in our dharma, we believe we are coming from the previous births. From the previous births, we are bringing lot of baggage, okay, about our personality, about our mind. That is Sara. And Samanya is now whatever stress we are taking, whatever issues are there, that is Samanya. So stress is nothing but a speed of mind. Mind is running like you would have seen many people, they are just running. They cannot control themselves. Mind is running so fast. So I should tell me one thing. Adi Vyadi. Now you know the concept. In mind, some Adi is there, it becomes Vyadi in the body level. Annamaya Kosha. Now if a tree is there, if some issue is there in the seed, will you just spray the leaf and you think the issue will be settled? No, no. You have to correct the seed. Whatever issue is there in the seed, you have to correct, not just spray the leaf. So, what is psychosomatic issue? In the current medical terminology, psychosomatic. Psycho means mind, soma means body. So mental health issues, anxiety, depression, restlessness, OCD, suicidal tendency. A person having everything and still he is committing suicide. Why? He is not able to control his mind, emotions, thoughts. He thinks the human life is God. With so much sadhana, with so much luck, he is ending. So mind is not brain. Western philosophers, they think mind is brain. Mind is not brain. Brain is just a hardware. Mind is software, you can say. Subtle issues, you can have subtle solution only. Anxiety is there, you cannot see it. If I have some issues, some cut is there, I can put some solution, put some band-aid, I can do. Anxiety, can you see it? No. So subtle things is subtle solution only. Meditation, yogic practice. What are the indication of a stress? Okay. So how it impacts the body is haphazard breathing pattern. Many people, even walking, talking, too much fast breath, excessive movements in the body, excessive movements. They will look like this. Suddenly someone called jerk, with jerk they will look. That is excessive movements. Hyperactivity, too much hyperactive. They don't take rest, or disinterested, too much not interested in anything. Unsteadiness in the body, eyeballs also moving here and there. Frequent emotional swings, mood swings. Somebody said something, they get angry suddenly. Reactions to adverse situations. Adverse means we don't anticipate and it just we react. So there are many things like even in yoga also, in Patanjali also, he has mentioned Antaraya and Vikshepa Sahabhuva. I'll not go into detail. So next I'll come to how the stress happens, excess sympathetic tone. So there are two things are there here, sympathetic, parasympathetic. I'll give a nice example to you. Suppose you are walking in Sundarban, you are walking Sundarban, suddenly you see a lion. What will do? You will run. You will run like anything, heartbeat increase, everything, pulse rate increase, blood flow goes to the legs, you run. After the line has gone, you have to take rest. Then what happens? Heartbeat slows down and you relax. In stress, what happens? This sympathetic tone, the reaction when you see the line, it is not stopping, it is unending. Okay. So that is the difference between sympathetic and parasympathetic activity. So stress is like a silent killer, like a termite, Deemak. You have seen that you have purchased a nice wooden cupboard. After 6 months, powder comes and you notice it is hollow from inside. Even before we take some spray or something we do, it has made it hollow. It's the same way stress. Stress has hardly unnoticed. Okay. These are some of the points which are important. How to control the mind. So we cannot see our prana and mind inside, but we know it exists. Just a simple example, you can also do with me. Just take the arms back and bring it forward. Notice something, but do not touch the palms. Notice something is there in between. You will notice some magnetic force. Bring the arms back and forward without touching them. Don't touch. Just rotate, rotate without touching. Opposite. Once again. Okay. So you will notice something you feel between the palms. It is nothing but prana. So it is exists. Mind is also exists. Thoughts are there. Okay. So if thoughts are there, then the mind should be there. Emotions are there. Thoughts are there. It exists. Now I have proved here also. Our fingertips, they are every time they have prana. So prana is derived. Now from where prana goes? Here na, these two nostrils, it is going inside and it is going from here only. Food is going from mouth, prana is going from the nostrils. Now mind is derived from prana. Let us do a simple practice. So you have to take a deep breath and close the nose, hold for 5 seconds. Then you notice whether you are having thoughts or not. Inhale, close. Open, exhale. One more time, inhale, close. Open, exhale. Now we did by inhaling inside. Now we exhale and then hold. Inhale, exhale, close. Relax. Take a deep breath. Once again. Exhale. Close. Relax, take a deep breath, breathe out. So you notice when you are stopping the breath, you have no thoughts. So chale vate, chale chittam in Hatha Yoga is said that if this breathing goes, mind will go. If breathing, so mind and breath are like brothers and sisters, they go together. Any disturbance in the prana disturbs the mind and that is come to the body like adi, vyadi, very important concept. So and thereby it disturbs the balance in the body. Psychosomatic issues arise. If you get angry, can your breath become? You will get angry like this. Like this you get. If you become sad, can you be sad with very fast breath? No. Your breathing will be slow. So you can see yourself breathing. So we have to create unending awareness and mindfulness. Breath, prana, mind and body. This is the principle. That is why breathing is very important in yoga. So to control the subtle, we have to work with the gross. This we can see breath. Inside the prana, mind we cannot see. That is why we are working in the breath. We change the voluntary, conscious things we change. Unconsciously, whatever happens, we can control. We can change the pattern of our behavior. We can become emotionally immune. So what are the psychological states of mind? That is also very important to know how we react to situation. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. In Yoga, Ayurveda also it's mentioned. So Sattva is mode of goodness. It represents might, light, pure, health, happiness, knowledge. It is like a golden cage made of 24 karat gold. It is represented by fresh food, light, easily digested. Second is Rajas, mode of passion. It represents anger, bright red color, desires. It's like a silver cage. So foods are spicy, hot, oily food, very salty, bitter, burning. Third is tamas, mode of ignorance. It represents laziness, sleep, dark, delusion, recklessness. It is represented by bronze cage. The food is stale, tasteless, foul, impure food. So rajas, if it is reduced, it is take you to tamas. Rajas, if it is increased, it will take you to the sattva. But too much rajas, it's not good. It is like it's in the middle. If it is reduced, it will take you to tamas. If it will increase, it will take you to the sattva. So guna, they influence our nature, behavior, attitude, professional choice, attachments. They create bondage. Need to transcend them. Just an example I'm telling, like a teacher who wants to share knowledge, who wants to teach anywhere, school or college, more sattva is required. A person who is in the army, police, they have to be physically strong, they have to be tough, rajas is required. A person who is not having some monotonous job, like a person who is in a toll booth, he's also, I'm not saying he's not important, but he's a monotonous job. So there is tamas is there. He's happy with that thing. So, but we have to transcend them. These are psychological states of our mind. They create bondage. Another example you can take, three types of car driver. A person is driving the car very moderately, appropriate speed, braking properly, turning, giving indicator every time. A person is fast, is riding fastly. Where is not required to do fast, he is going very fast. Another person, he has to go 40 kilometers per hour, he is going 15 kilometers per hour. Even cycle person is overtaking him. So I hope you understand what these three types of car driver donate. Moderate one is sattva, rash one is rajas, sluggish one is tamas. So you can yourself judge yourself when you are. It is not that I will be pure sattva, pure rajas, pure tamas. Sometimes sattva will be active, sometimes rajas will be active, sometimes tamas. Tamas is little bit important also when we are sleeping. Tamas is active. Okay, I'm coming to a very nice story. Is elephant rope story. There was a baby elephant. When it was baby, the owner tied it to a rope, and it tried to break the rope many times. It tried 100 times. It could not break. So it gave up, and it thought it can never break the rope. After 10 years, it became a huge elephant. Still, it didn't break the rope because why? It did not believe in itself. So condition of the mind. Mind is conditioned. Change this condition. Don't judge yourself. Do yoga. Realize your true potential. Another story. Baby lion lamb. So what happened? A baby lion was there. By mistake, it grew up. It separated from its mother. It grew up with the lamb. Group of lamb. So it thought it was a lamb. It was doing the same sound, and it was doing that, eating the grass, everything. So, do you relate this story to yourself also? Yes, I think somewhere we are also having this kind of belief, false identity of ourselves. Are we the body and mind? Then we will perish. We will born again. If we realize our true self, like Vivekananda, we will never have rebirth. So same way you can see in many research they have a placebo effect or something. Just imagine this is a medicine and giving to a patient and saying you will get well. A patient having some headache, suppose she comes to me, sir, give me some medicine. I'll just give some sugar coated ball. I give to her. You eat this, you will get well by tomorrow. And she believes. She eats, she gets well. Placebo. What do you think you become? So few inspirational quotes from Dalai Lama. He is very famous. So Dalai Lama said that first what man does, he will sacrifice his health to make money. Then he sacrifices the money, whatever he earned, he sacrifices it to get back his health. And he thinks about the future, and he does not enjoy the present, and he lives as if he never lived, and he dies one day. Do you want such kind of life? I don't think so. Vivekananda, very famous, very great son of soil. We are what our thoughts have made us. So take care of what you think, because the same energy represent and condition mind. Elephant rope, words are secondary. Thoughts live, they travel far. Lao Tzu, very important philosopher. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become action. Watch your action, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. So we have to change our mind. Controlling mind is not one day's job. It is a continuous, regular, systematic practice. It comes under control when you feel oneness with the God. Swami Vivekananda. Again, Swami Vivekananda. If you go on practicing meditation for days and months and years until it has become habit, after some time it will unconsciously also it will come, and all the emotions will be under control, like anger and hatred. So there is a very good story of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, his Gospels. He had some short stories. So there was a oceanologist who knows everything about the ocean. He was traveling in a boat, and he asked the boatman. He was full of, yes, having so much knowledge, like that ego. He asked the boatman various questions. Do you know different species of oceanic animals, types of ocean, depth of ocean, types of waves? The boatman says he does not know all. The oceanologist laughed at him. He just laughed and mocked him. You don't know anything. Your life is waste. Then what happened? After some time, there was a hole in the boat and it started sinking. The boatman asked the oceanologist, "Sir, do you know swimming? The shore is nearby only. We have an island nearby, but we don't have a life jacket. We can go and swim there." Oceanologist says he does not know swimming. Boatman said to him that all his knowledge is of no use and his life was waste. So, what we learn from this? Knowledge won't help. Knowledge means just knowing Atma is like this, Atma is like that. Thinking won't help. This is you have to realize yourself practically. Apply the knowledge. Somebody else realized and you just hear him. That is of no use. You have to cross the boat. You have to swim yourself. Theory and practical goes together. Apply the knowledge. If you know practical, like a Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was hardly, I don't know, fourth or sixth standard, eighth standard, something he studied, I'm not sure. So he did not know any education, but he knew practical. So theory was not needed for him. If you know theory, but you don't know practical, then theory is of no use. One more, few inspirational quotes. The goal of human life is the realization of the ultimate reality, which can alone give man supreme fulfillment and everlasting peace. This is the essence of all religions. Remember Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he practiced not just on Kali, he had a devotion on Kali, he did on other religions also. Okay, so he realized the same truth. Like the rivers, different rivers, they are merging in the same ocean. Okay, whatever our prayers are there, maybe we like Kali, we like Ganesha, we like Allah, but everything is going to the same God only. 4 wives story, very important, we still have time. So a king had 4 wives. He had 4 wives. So what are the 4 wives? He loved his 4th wife most. He gave her gold, diamonds, dresses, food. And he loved his 3rd wife also and showed her to other kingdoms. See, this is my wife, so beautiful. 2nd wife was his confidant, was always kind, considerate, patient. If king has any issue, then he would go and take her suggestion. What should I do for solution? 1st wife was very loyal partner and had made great contribution in maintaining wealth and kingdom, but he did not love, he neglected her, like she does not exist, like that. One day, the king became very seriously ill and wanted the wives to accompany him to afterlife. So he asked one by one to his 4 wives. First, he asked to 4th wife, I have given you best things, diamond, jewelry, clothes. Will you come with me when I die? So she said, I will not come. And she walked away. So king was sad. Then he went to the third wife. I have loved you. Please follow me when you die. She refused. She said, I will remarry. Why will I waste my life? I'm so beautiful. Then, second wife, he asked that you have helped me in difficult
কিরে
situations. Yeah. Yeah.
পাগল লেগে যাবে
Okay. So then he asked the second wife, you have helped me in difficult situations.
Excuse
So
me,
he-
sir.
Huh.
Just a sec. I request Professor Prashantu Sinha to please mute your microphone. Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, so he asked his second wife, you have helped me in difficult situation, follow me when I die. She refused. She said, I cannot do like that. Only thing I can do, I can do some antim sanskar, I can accompany to the grave. I can bury you or do some antim sanskar. So king was very sad, devastated, very sad. So what happened? Then a voice came. I will follow you wherever you go. This was his first wife. She was so skinny, king neglected her. So king said, I should have taken much better care of you when you were alive. What are the four wives? Fourth wife is our body. We decorated nice clothes, jewelry. In the end, it cannot accompany us. It will be here only. It will buried or burnt. Third wife, possessions, car, house, guitar, gold. In the end, they cannot follow us. It will be given to other people. Like the wife remarrying, na? House will be sold, car will be sold, like that. Second wife, friends and family. We trust them. They are always with us in time of need. Maximum they can do when we die is they can come to our funeral. They can send us off. Our first wife, who is the first wife, which will follow us, is our soul, Atma. We neglect, we don't know, we don't aware, we're not aware of it. We just, it is there inside, but that is the only thing which will follow us to the afterlife. Again, few inspirational quotes. You have to grow from inside out. No one can teach you, no one can make you spiritual, no other teacher. Your guru is inside of you. You have to wake him up. So arise, awake, and do not stop until you reach the goal. So thank you so much. So this is my number, contact number, WhatsApp calling, it's my email. So in case you want, you can note and you can get in touch. So I hope you liked the presentation.